You are listening to the Democratic Voice of Burma. Hello and welcome to DVB English News. I am Norman. February 1st marked 4 years since the 2021 military coup. Over the past 12 months, resistance groups have made historic gains on the battlefield. Operation 1027 Second Wave began in June, after a China-brokered 5-month-long ceasefire ended. It put a brief pause on fighting between the Brotherhood Alliance and the regime in Naypyidaw. But the Afghan army was not a part of the deal. It continued its offensive against the regime in Rakhine State. It has now seized 14 out of the 17 townships, including the Western Regional Military Command. It is the second resistance group in Myanmar history to capture a military command headquarters, after the Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army captured the Northeastern Regional Military Command in Lasho last August. It has also seized 11 towns in northern Shan State and reasserted control over the Kokand region. But it has signed a second ceasefire with the regime at China's behest last month. Like the AA, the Ta'an National Liberation Army hasn't stopped fighting. It has seized 11 townships in northern Shan State and the lucrative Ruby Land town of Mogo in Mandalay region. Meanwhile, further north, the Kachin Independence Army has taken control of several border gates with China, as well as the rare earth mining hub of Chipwe and Panwa, formerly known as Kachin Special Region 1. The National Unity Government released a report summarizing resistance gains on January 4. It claimed that the People's Defense Forces and Ethnic Revolutionary Organizations, or EROs, control 144 out of Myanmar's 330 townships. David Matheson is an independent analyst on human rights and conflict in Burma. He criticized the NUG for claiming credit for territory taken over by EROs.
I think there's questions to be made about the term revolutionary and the term ERO. That a lot of these ethnic armed organisations were revolutionary before the coup. They were revolutionary decades before the National Unity Government. And also, I think it's got to be said that the National League for Democracy's element within the National Unity Government, I think a lot of EAOs remember several years ago during the peace process that the NLD was really dismissive of their revolutionary aspirations. And it's not like a coup suddenly evaporates these sentiments.
The NUG report added that 48 townships are under full resistance control, while 79 remain contested between the military and the resistance. The regime is administering 107 townships, according to the NUG. Jozo is the spokesperson for the NUG President's Office.
In this case, I think David either misinterpreted or didn't really look into our announcements. We don't say that we control 2/3 of the country. We're saying that resistance forces control 2/3 of the countries. We don't say that we fully control and govern 144 townships. We're saying that there's resistance forces control. And we didn't say that we fully control 95 or 96 towns and cities. We clearly say that PDF control the capture and control 8 towns and cities out of 95.
A BBC investigation stated that the regime only controls less than 25% of the country. But recently, Beijing has stepped up its support to Naypyidaw. It has sent several diplomats to get assurances from regime leader Min Aung Hlaing that he will hold an election this year. This would help legitimize his regime in the eyes of President Xi Jinping. Resistance groups like the NUG and the AA want China to know that they will protect Chinese interests in Myanmar. Mimi Winberg is a retired U.S. Army officer and security analyst focusing on Myanmar.
အခုအချိန်မှာဗါလေတရုတ်ကလည်း
China has become more aggressive, so the Myanmar diaspora in the U.S. need to lobby the U.S. government more, so that it will understand the relation between Myanmar and China, and it will be more interested in Myanmar affair even more than the Biden administration was. I think this administration will be standard in its approach to China. Judged by all this, Myanmar will receive more attention, in my opinion.
ပို့ပြီးတော့သူတို့စိတ်ဝင်စားလာမယ်လို့ကျွန်မထင်တယ်
She wants the new Trump administration in the U.S. to assist Myanmar to return to civilian rule. Wimber says that 70% of the resistance is self-financed and not reliant on outside support. This means the U.S. could use its Burma Act to send funds to help communities defend themselves against attacks by the military. The Armed Conflict and Location Events Data, or ACLAD, a conflict monitoring group, recorded 118 incidents of mass killings by the military. This is when more than 5 civilians are killed in one attack. This is a 44% increase compared to 2023. The shift to area attacks and mass killings suggests that the violence has become more indiscriminate. The military has increased its use of air and drone strikes, as well as artillery shelling, to target civilians as it loses territory to resistant groups. In the last year, the number of military airstrikes targeting civilians tripled to 776, the equivalent of more than 2 per day, according to ACLAD. For DVB English News, I am Norman. Thanks for listening.